Welcome, everybody, to episode 124 of the Lookout Podcast.
Yes.
I am, of course, Meelz. I am here with JG Okotsu himself.
What's up, man?
We're still here at Kame's house.
We are still here at Kame House. Yeah.
How's everything been? The androids haven't shown up yet. You know...
It's hot, man.
It's hot. It's hot as fuck. It's
Yeah.
hot as fuck. But guess what? We're not alone on this damn house.
We are not.
Because we got so many things this summer on the lookout. I mean, so if you haven't known by now, which you should probably know by this week, Big Eyes is starting their summer Kame House thing as well.
That's right.
Did you hear about this?
I did.
Did you hear about what they're covering for summer Kame House?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
Well, listen.
What is it?
By the time you hear this, you guys should definitely know on Twitter. So at Summer Kame House for the Big Eyes podcast, they're going to be covering Chainsaw Man.
In its entirety?
My Hero Academia Vigilantes.
Fire.
Bakuman.
Okay.
Dr. Stone.
Oh, really? Who signed off on that?
Had to be AD.
Had to be.
And Tight Kubo's Beach. I haven't heard this one. All right, well, listen, they covering stuff. They covering it in their entirety. So if you guys wanted something to read as well as you watching all this anime, because fundamental is all fun.
Yeah,
put the fun in fundamental, baby.
Absolutely.
And you can definitely still do all of that. And, have some fun. We also have Subslide Dubslide, which is this weekly, episodic thing, and they're covering over the latest. Well, not the latest, because we're building up to eventually the new Dragon Ball movie.
Absolutely.
Have you seen news on this movie?
I've seen everything that I basically needed to see before actually watching it. So yeah. Everything that I could see. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. I'm excited just off leaks.
Did you see the voice actor announcements?
Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, I did.
Zeno.
Shout out to Zeno, man. Hey, bro. Hey, man. Really, really happy for him. That's amazing, honestly. Really cool.
Paid, laid, stayed in the shade. God bless him.
That's right.
So we have Subslide Dubslide this week. We should actually be covering. So last week they did the first 3 Dragon Ball movies, which I actually have never really seen. So I'm going to revisit them sometime this summer. But now they're starting, the classics.
Yeah. They're getting me back going.
Dead Zone. Listen, World's Strongest in Dead Zone. Listen,
hey, man.
Dragon Ball movies are easy. They're light, bro.
They really are, though. I mean, they're straight to the point, but there is some really good context in all of them, So, yeah, man, it's interesting.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have, coming from every time, whenever they drop, you'll know when they're dropping, because I don't have a consistent drop schedule for this, but the JoJo's Agenda, hosted by Justin and Cyrus, they already have so many other things that they're doing. I can't expect them to drop weekly, but I know they have definitely recorded the first 2 episodes already.
Well, there you go.
Here's a little tidbit for behind the scenes. That first episode that dropped was recorded a long time ago. Because this is supposed to come out a long time ago. Yeah. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. And this may be the best time. I mean, this is the best time of the year, at least for the lookout. I mean, summer at Kame House is not to enjoy.
Always packed out.
So we are here this week to talk about Demon Slayer. The Entertainment District arc. The support of the second season of Demon Slayer, to be honest with you. Now, we've talked about Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was our first foray out of the Dragon Ball.
It was. So yeah. A lot of love. Love.
We always hold this special place in our heart. So it was our first foray out of it. What's been your thoughts on Demon Slayer, man? Just watching its growth and kind of where it's at. Do you feel like this anime is definitive? It's one of the animes that's definitive of this era?
Yeah, I think it's one of the leaders, honestly. I don't want to get past that. I feel like with Demon Slayer, it's still the best looking anime that we have, which is crazy to say because there's so many really good looking ones out there, especially these past 3-4 years. I feel like the level of, animation has just been so crazy. And to still say, we watched the movie, we all know how that turned out. And if you didn't, you got a piece of it when the second season started again, but it's still the most beautiful thing that probably has come out, and I can't take that away. I think it's definitely one of the leading new school animes going forward. I think they won't stop either.
Their model that they're currently exploring is going arc by arc, which honestly
come on, man,
the length of this show.
We love it, man.
It's good.
We love
it's good, but you also don't want to stay too long. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. But they're gonna do the whole season for sure. At a certain point, or whole series, but at a certain point, I wouldn't mind a little layoff. As exciting as I was about, the end of this season and them announcing the third kind of right afterwards, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I like that. Don't get me wrong. But in some cases, there's nothing wrong with staying back off 2 years, coming back, feeding the streets, and then, getting back to something more consistent. I don't know. I feel like they just making so much money right now.
I feel like you got to come back every year. If it's me, if I'm going the future mixtape model. You got to be back consistently because there is only going to be more fire anime that comes out. Yeah. Chainsaw Man is on the horizon, and I expect that to be one of the biggest anime of the year by far.
Especially visually. Absolutely. Off the trailer too. Yeah. I mean, they look like they're going all out. So
I believe that Chainsaw Man will break records and at times may break the internet.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm a heavy proponent of that series, and I think everyone over at Crunchyroll has also believed the same exact thing.
I would probably have to agree. Shout out Chainsaw. I think the 11th volume just came out. The last volume for part 1 just came out like a few weeks ago. So what a run. What a run they're on.
So you watched this. Did you watch it back?
I did. I watched it back, yeah.
You watched it back on dub?
I did.
How long did it take you to finish it? Just inquiring.
Not long. Like I think I told you I can do it I can watch the dub now. And I think maybe like 2 days later I was done. Yeah. Like straight up. I
sat in on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I set it on Saturday. I did everything I needed to do earlier in the day, and I sat in on Saturday. There was no NBA game going on.
There wasn't. Yeah. That helps.
I sat and I watched the entire thing.
You did one day that afternoon?
It was 4 hours.
Hey, that's
but
not bad.
Honestly, it's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Think about 4 hours. Sometimes, bro, you went to the movies, you sat down for like Avengers or some shit or whatever. You could sit down 3 hours for a film. You could knock out an anime a whole season.
Listen, so I'm glad that you brought that up of going to a movie.
Sure.
Because I think what they've done a great job with for this arc is making this feel very much so like a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
Just from the way that the music interplays and all of this, the way it's cut, the way episodes ends and episodes begin, they don't really start with, it's not the same, episodic, beat as like, okay, you're going to get 30 seconds of us recapping the last episode and then we're going to go into the intro and then we're going to start the episode. They don't start that way.
No.
Usually they kick off they kick down the door with action.
Yeah.
The intro music might come in 15 minutes, 16 minutes into the damn episode.
That's how you know. Yeah, that's how you know.
And I think that's a testament to them wanting to not lose any of the intensity, not losing any of the moments or any of the heartfelt, sequences and moments of the show.
It's a real to be continued. Yeah, literally. Here you go. As soon as the next episode hits, you get where you left off and you don't have to worry about sitting through a 2-minute intro. Not that the intro is not worth sitting through, but I love what you're saying right now because it's a different feeling watching it as opposed to other things that, obviously maybe, like you said, the show may start, you get 5 minutes, 2 minutes in, and then they hit the intro. You're right. I
gotta skip the intro every time on a lot of animes.
Exactly, bro. Sometimes with Demon Slayer, man, like you said, they'll give us 15 minutes of the show before they hit the damn intro on us. And honestly, it worked. I mean, I can't say, because by the time that 15 minutes in, I low key need that intro break. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I like it, man. I like it.
Because they've done, I think this is, I talked about a lot of this with Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of another one of these stellar anime adaptations where I think they put in the extra effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you look back at, we talk about the how they made the movie into a series of episodes, and then they also added that filler episode at the beginning to kind of tie everything together, but also create an experience within itself as you're watching these episodes. And they've done the same thing here. I mean, they've added in quite a few, not necessarily filler moments, but moments that are anime exclusive compared to the manga itself.
Yeah, what you need.
And I think that they're doing their best job, Ufotable or Ufotable or whatever the fuck they want to be called. I can't believe it's been like what?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard it like
74 episodes, and we still have not figured out what the hell this is. But Ufotable, I'm assuming.
Ufotable.
They've just done a great job at like crafting this in a way that's like, I think they put their entire ass into this anime.
Hey man,
and they
I have to salute just for breaking the stigma of, oh man, I gotta watch the movie over again episodically. Oh, okay, well, I guess, but bro, they killed that shit, man. It just seemed right to me. I feel like the stuff that they added, the stuff that we necessarily didn't get in the movie, that just to fill in the blanks, to allow it to slide into season 2 properly. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. If it's going to be like that, I think other companies got to take note too, instead of just like copy and pasting it in there.
Well, you can't do this for everything.
I know.
Because some things don't require it. I think you need to have the cachet that Demon Slayer has managed to establish within literally like one fucking setting. And in one season, they became kind of like the ultimate anime of this like generation, to be honest with you. Yeah. And I don't want anime heads or weebs or any of the other things to come for me. It's just what it is. It is the highest selling movie in Japanese history.
That's facts.
It is the highest selling manga, one of the highest selling mangas, period. And it's only existed for the last 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Which is crazy. The numbers that they put up, some shows, some manga need a decade, maybe more to even get there.
And some fall off. You know what I'm saying?
Badly.
And some fall off. I think it was this Demon Slayer benefited from kind of like the stars aligning all in the right moments of when they are going through the manga, and the manga is growing in popularity, and then the anime comes out and the manga skyrockets in popularity and then it finishes, right?
Yeah.
So now you're able to read the entire story and kind of binge it that way, but you also kind of get to look forward to the show and see how they, adapt everything that's going on there. So you know what? Listen, Demon Slayer, goddamn, man.
Hey.
Goddamn, man.
One of them ones, bro. What can we say? They really don't do shit wrong. And it's kind of crazy to say it because it's really true. But I really do love the series. I think it's like, oh yeah, when they're back, we're back type shit. And that's just always how it's going to be for them. As long as they stay by it, and there's no way they can twist the fans' minds with changing something up. But man, they're so good at what they do, and they're spending their money on the right things too. So
absolutely.
yeah, they get it.
So let's talk about the season.
Yeah,
let's talk about the entertainment district arc. We have not, they managed to establish early, we are not done mourning this nigga Rengoku, to be honest with you. And so they start off with things, with Tanjiro kind of going to Rengoku's family, letting him know that he has definitely passed away, even though I'm sure, this is Japanese anime.
The bird told him, huh?
Shit. I'm sure but even if they didn't tell him, I'm sure the nigga felt it.
Yeah, that too. Well, yeah, they always feel it. Oh, what was that?
Something's not right.
It's like, yeah, we do this podcast so much. Like, I'll wake up, I'll be like, Meelz must not be having a good day. Something's off. Yeah,
something's off. I could sense it. Love a good sense. Trying to learn about the sun breathing through the technique of flame breathing, finds Rengoku's drunk father, who's like, my son was fucking he was a pussy.
Yeah, nothing good about him.
And Tanjiro had to try to hem him up a little bit. It was like, yo, don't talk about my man Rengo. I don't care who you are. You could be his father. You could be his mother. You could be anybody. Yo, we squaring up. Don't talk about this man.
Hey, man.
I went to war with this man.
I'm about to say, how you feel about that?
He went to war for me.
How you feel about that, bro? All I know is, like, in real life, bro, I'm not about to try to fight somebody's parents' name. That's all I'm trying to say. I get where Tanjiro is coming from, like, to a certain degree, but you gotta just let that nigga get that shit out. You gotta read the room, bro. Like,
I feel like, deeper than you. Why? You know why I think Tanjiro did that shit? Because, family just means so much to him.
I know. I get it.
And it's the loss of things and how much this has weighed in his mind through this entire adventure and how much people like Rengoku sacrifice in this just to kind of maintain any stability.
Yeah.
And the nigga calling him, my son was whack. My son was, should have never became a demon slayer.
Yeah.
Wild pussy, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you know what? I agree. Tanjiro, he
turned up, man. He was getting a little wild.
Up a little bit. He turned up a little bit. You know what? I don't want to go through his beat by beat.
I mean, it's. I don't think we need to. I think the series is definitely that good, but there are some high moments in this series, in this season.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the high moments of this arc so far. Let's talk about the characters and stuff like that. We aren't introduced to many new characters. To be honest with you, this plays off as like, in the beginning of the series, we'd see that Tanjiro would go on missions and it would be these 3 episode thing where he fought the demon. Demon had some gnarly trick. And then nigga would have to use water breathing, number 7 to snipe a nigga neck off.
Right.
This one is just very, they've extended it far. And they, to be honest with you, I liken this arc to the same thing as Haikyuu season 2, which was just an arc on one match. And I always applaud them for being able to extend it that much, because it's absolutely difficult.
Yeah.
Like as kids, we watching Frieza versus Goku, and it's like, nigga, now they just talking shit. This is like episode 24 of this battle.
Yeah, this could have been over.
Yeah. So, what are kind of like the highlights of this for you?
I mean, all in all,
highlights of the season. Yeah. Let's
talk
about this arc.
Here's what's crazy to me, because season 1 has incredible fighting sequences / moments.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, the Entertainment District was better than the movie. And I think really,
I'm glad you said that.
My nigga, look, I was watching the dub. Really watching the dub is what kind of like tipped it over for me, because I was just like, yo, if this was in a movie format, like if, let's say season 2 was like, they just gave us the regular episodic, and then, or not season 2, but the Mugen Train was the actual season, and then they went into, Entertainment District as the film. This shit might have even went bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the fight scenes are just that much more important. But not just that, the planning that each character is in their own individual situation, to me was like really what I wanted. I think we weren't looking at Tanjiro for 20 episodes or whatever. Like it was much more in depth with everyone, which is what I liked, because season 1, obviously, it's going to be, you're going to see a lot of Tanjiro because that's what they want. He's the main guy. So I just love being able to tap into all these different characters, the wives, the bad guy, everything about it to me was just filled with like the perfect way to stretch out your season, and it all makes sense and it not tire you out.
The Hashira of this season, Tengo.
Come on, man. The flamboyant one himself.
The flamboyant one. He's flamboyant, but also very manly.
Very manly. Yeah.
In a very like this little bit of a dichotomy of this man who wears so much jewelry, has his fingernails painted, but he's like, I also got 3 wives, and I also am a god, and essentially it's like I'm putting myself in to save all of these people. And you see the things that he holds dearly to him. Obviously, his wives are very much so dearly to him. And this isn't like some pimping shit.
No. That, I think,
And
yeah, I'll just say it, if you just see this on the outside looking in, it may be, cause I know a lot of people who are like turned off.
And they
by,
got 3
like,
wives.
Yeah. I know people who are like really turned off by anime that are like, you know, traditional,
chauvinistic,
yeah.
You know,
but
sexist.
Honestly, there's really nothing.
I mean,
like
he cares about these. He cares about these wives equally. He cares about them a lot.
He loves them
so much to the point where, at the end of this arc, he's like, "Nah, I'm retiring. I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather be with my family,
bruh.
Rather be with my 3 wives."
I mean, after everything, you know, I feel him. Which is like, that's a realistic thought process in characters too. I like that. You know, I know we're so much like, oh, this is my favorite character. I want to see him again, or I want to see, you know, them do something else later on down the season or in another arc. But yeah, that's cool, man. I like that shit because you could turn your mind off to it and just move on to the next. There's so many characters, you kind of have to.
I love the cultural experience of this season. It's just like, you know, just being through the entertainment district. I feel like it's a lot of culture that is explored and seen throughout this. And it made me actually like go back and research. It's like, okay, the Edo period and kind of like understanding what period of Japan this was. And
periods are crazy for like, I always see that type of stuff. And I mean, obviously it's used in like jujitsu too, but like just, they always have some type of stories where something happened 100 years ago and it's named after, that's not our culture. So it's hard for us to understand, you know?
Right. So it made me like actually like go back and research it because, you know, there are things like, you know, Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu living out in the country and then they go into the city and see shit like trains, right?
Yeah. And
like,
they're like blown away by it.
And they're like, yo, it's a monster. And niggas is like, what
trying
are you
to fight
doing?
it.
It's
shit.
like, the difference between, you know, technology and advancements and all the other stuff, like I looked into it and learned it. I was like, oh my God, this is kind of, so they're playing this period piece that they're currently playing up. It's just continues to be incredible. I love that part. I love the intro to the comedy part, you know, of them dressing up as women to try to infiltrate these bathhouses in order to find out where his wives were in, and his wives are going to discover what has been terrorizing the entertainment district arc, but his wives have gone missing. So he now has sent out, you know, these 3 Hashira who have, you know, I'll say one thing this arc has done. This arc has shown the development of them immensely. But just by the nature of them not dying, it's shown how much they've evolved immensely, being able to hang with an upper moon demon, but also not necessarily weighing you down with the training arc as much. They show you the elevated styles of total concentration breathing at the end of season 1, but not really weighing that and just kind of showing you it.
I feel like we've gotten there.
Yeah, they've done the work, and now we're seeing it by virtue of this nigga Tanjiro. I mean, I'm calling this Act 2 of the series. So Act 1 for me was all the stuff of getting to the series. And them finding out the big like Sailor Moon reveal that the fucking the bathhouse lady was a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If you didn't get the hints.
The baddest bitch of them all was a demon.
Of course, yeah.
Big Sailor Moon. Zenitsu pulls out his, thing, transforms, all this other shit. Act 2 for me is them going up against Daki, who is this, the female upper moon, upper 6 demon.
Hell of a design. I love the design in the manga. So I was like waiting for this, like, to really see how shit was going to look, man. That shit was incredible.
But Tanjiro's going like, he going up against her. And you know what? I always fear for Tanjiro during these things.
Reckless, bro.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I always feel like, judging from his own thoughts and what he's saying, he's always on the precipice of death.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely goes into battle understanding the huge difference between strength.
Yeah, but I always feel like he's like, oh my God, he punctured my lungs. I can't even move my feet anymore.
He's a find a way boy. I just gotta find a way.
Yeah, but I always feel like he should die. Not like he should die, but I think if I was him in this situation and I used up all my power using the Hinoki Kagura, which is the fire breathing, the sun breathing, technique that he passed down from his family, and he was like, "Nigga, I can't move anymore." I was like, "Oh, I'd be cooked."
Shit, I lost my breath from watching him. I was kind of like, damn, I'm having trouble breathing. Like,
Man,
it's tough.
I mean, he did. I think he did a great job holding her off, and I think that was the kind of point of that. And another favorite moment during this act that I truly loved was the Nezuko, which was something I was looking forward to too.
Yeah, that was a big moment in the manga as well, obviously.
Nezuko was essentially, I mean, she's always back to back, like the cover of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, she's OP. We
You know
know
what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
Like Jordan 96, 97.
Yeah,
You know what
OP
I'm
as fuck.
saying? She comes up, she pulls up. Of course, she sees that Tanjiro's in trouble. Nigga use up all his flame breathing, all
Can't
his
breathe.
breath. Can't total concentrate his way out of this.
Lungs look like raisins, bro.
Right. Nezuko shows up. She wakes up. And
Bad bitch alert. just
her
really
transformation
bruh.
of just like now got anime titties.
Yeah,
And
now I'm 25. It's like, what the fuck?
Her transformation. I mean, I love that little battle too because I think
good.
everyone appreciates Nezuko in battle and what she attributes. And she was a large part of. I mean, she's a large part of the success of the show that I think is understated. I think we all think of the big three of Inosuke, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu, but
she's
I think
really the star.
Yeah, her influence is underrated in this entire thing because she isn't seen a lot, but I also feel like she is the constant reminder of what this series is about. I think ultimately we get caught up in the fact that, we find demons. This shit is lit. But the fact that there's a family behind this and Tanjiro is still trying to find a way to free her from being a demon and to see her kind of like go over the ledge really it was very wild. Like, to be honest with you, like that entire experience of, what, first of all, one, it was lit, but two, it was wild kind of see her kind of lose herself in that moment, but also attaining the power of
that's really
a demon that's like upper 6th level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really what kind of puts me into it because we all wanted to see what else she was capable of because we know that she's a special case for a demon, which made her whole thing interesting, so if there's this upper level or something to just take her to the top, it's crazy, man, especially considering the circumstances. I'm all for additional sequences, fight scenes, just including her. I think we're going to get more of that later, but it's really, really awesome to see it like for the first time or the second time really. Cause we did get some of it, some assisting of hers, assisting Tanjiro in season 1, but this was like, this is a different level right here. She said, stand back, nigga, I got it. Different, a little bit different.
And then kind of just, you go back to the family thing and her sobbing uncontrollably. It's the sobbing thing that got me. I was like, wow.
I didn't expect the crying.
I didn't expect it to hit me that hard, to be honest with you.
Demon Slayer uses it as a tool.
I mean, she's losing herself during this entire process, but being reminded through the song of like where she's at and I think this is the first time she's truly coming to grips with the fact that her family was massacred too. Like these memories that live inside her head,
hers as well.
We don't usually get to see that kind of shit. So her gripping with all these memories and having this emotional like reaction to it of just kind of like crying and really being the first thing to deal with it was, to me, I was like, damn, I didn't expect to feel all this. Damn, God damn.
I get it. I'm sure it could be eye-opening for like the viewers too, but we don't get to see Nezuko's like her resolve a lot. As far as just her protecting Tanjiro, we know that, but I think it's different when we get to see like, oh, like obviously she misses her family as well, but she just happens to be a demon.
Other parts I love during these first kind of 2 parts. First of all, the muscle mice.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Muscle mice definitely come in the Funko.
And I need both of them.
Yeah,
I don't need just one.
Absolutely,
they gotta have both of them. I need both of them.
Separate boxes.
I just love what they do with animals: crows, mice, cats, all this other shit like that. What else? I mean, Inosuke being the baddest of them all. It's like, damn, she's beautiful. It's like, damn, you know who Inosuke is? I mean, yes, he's beautiful, but
the joke rings all the way from season 1.
Yeah,
just
like,
wearing
wearing
a boar's head, and you take it off, and it's like, dude, you're a model, bro. You don't even need that. Dude.
Why you talk like that? Like, gross. How'd you get your hair blue like that? Zenitsu being the ugliest of them all, or being perceived as the ugliest of them all, and having to deal with that. But also,
how about Tanjiro doing his just work so well? Motherfucker's such a hard worker, bro.
He's such an obedient boy.
Such obedient, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even care, man. Just whatever you need me to do.
Yeah, it's like, I have to break it to you, I'm not a woman. It's like, I think we got it from the muscles.
Yeah.
You had hair in places where girls don't usually have hair. So eventually we get to the point where let's see. Well, Tengen arrives. So they save a couple of the wives and a couple of the people who are living in this like underground dungeon type shit. So Tengen arrives on the scene with Tanjiro, and cuts that bit clean her head clean off, baby. Like, comes up with his double blades. Niggas just like, oh man, ka-cloud, nigga. Uzui chops her head off. But the story isn't over there, because why would it be? To be honest with you, how much anime have we watched where it's never fucking? If this was the easiest thing, they wouldn't have made an entire arc around it.
Real Upper Moon hours, man.
Emerging from Daki is her brother. Let me get his name right because I love him.
Yeah, is it Gyutaro? Yeah, cool.
Gyutaro. I love his design.
Oh man,
I love his look.
The rib cage, the hair, the eyes.
He might be my favorite demon so far.
Yeah, he's fire. He's fire. I mean, even the weapon of choice.
The sickles?
Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Shit hard, bro.
Little sickles? Poison you with the sickles?
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And a nigga talks real shit too, which I gotta respect.
Yeah, he just here to, he here to take care of her sister. It was like, yo, I can't believe you got this situation where your head got cut off. How could you do this? Puts her head back on as she's crying, because she's like, brother, she's
being a baby. Yeah.
I love Gyutaro. I just do. Everything about it. The
like the
fight,
backstory, like the flashback stuff.
His power. Oh, yo, no, the flashback.
That's what did it, right?
The flashback stuff absolutely did it.
Yeah, that sold it.
And you know why? Because I have a sister.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I have, without going into deep, is a very similar relationship, kind of, in a sense.
Kind of, yeah.
So the relationship that he has with his sister, and the backstory behind that, and the backstory of him trying to protect her, but also being thrown out and having, my parents aren't as ridiculous as their fucking parents. Get the fuck out of here. But going through that entire process, kind of just their bond at the end of the day, and everything that happened to him. Oh my God, they got burned,
bro.
Oh.
A real tragic story, honestly. But that's what
Demon
you
Slayer
need.
Always does this shit.
No,
always do this,
bro.
shit.
But that's what we gotta give them love for. It doesn't happen enough in other places.
You know why? It's because these demons aren't demons that are they didn't just come from a planet and they were from a
Right.
planet
They're
of
used to
demons.
be humans, no matter what.
Yeah. They didn't just live on the planet as demons and we're in this world where there's demons and there's humans. It's like, no. They were once humans. They lived this life. I have a sister who is a demon. So I always understand she didn't ask for this. It just happened to her. And it was tragic the way it happened to her. And, it's
it allows us to like be fans of the antagonists, because you're just like, oh wow, like it's like you just said, man, he's a great design. We love the motive, even though it's bad. It makes sense for the series. He was just the perfect final boss.
He was good as shit, man. Listen, all right, so we're at the final act of this fucking series. The final act. And I love everything that's going on here because I think the intensity, once he shows up, the intensity ramps up to a new level because not only, the trick is, the gimmick is, they can't just cut off one of these niggas' heads. They got to cut off both their heads, and they both got to be off at the same time for them to be defeated. So you can't just cut off one head and one just lives.
Shout out Muzan, bro. This nigga Muzan. That nigga nasty, bro. I'm serious, bro. He really putting together an evil ass team, bro. Because this is annoying. I mean, for any Demon Slayer, this has to be a shitty situation. You got to cut their heads off at the same time. They're already both OP, both upper moons. That sucks, man.
There's two of them, baby. Come on now. So
man.
he got while Uzui is trying to fight Gyutaro and he's having a very, very tough time because he's getting poisoned and shit. And he's like, nigga, I eat poison.
But I'm still hurting, nigga. This shit still hurt.
I eat this shit for lunch, nigga.
I'm about to die, though.
My favorite part was his wife coming in with all the little, the thing.
Was she throwing stars?
It was kind of like what was they shurikens or whatever the fuck?
Yeah. Greninja shit.
Thrown them off. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how. Yeah, that was my first thought process. I was like, oh, Greninja.
I'm using it from, I think it was called The Legend of Shinobi for Sega Genesis or
Shinobi
or something along those lines. Shurikens laced with wisteria. So I love that part. Because it comes great weapons. Listen, this entire shit is just good, man. I can't even.
It's hard to review it. I can't even, like, I know we're having this conversation about it, but bro, everything is linked to the next scene and it works so well that you just want to watch and just praise it every time. Like, I don't even look for anything that doesn't make sense anymore because everything makes sense on this series.
And maybe that's maybe it looks too damn good that I'm willing to ignore everything else about this series.
Is that a bad thing though?
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes visuals could be just as important as stories sometimes. No,
you're 100% right. If it looks like shit, I wouldn't give it the time of day.
Exactly.
But
even if the story was good, you'd be like, I can't watch this.
But even I can't even front on the Entertainment District arc. Like, I can try to find flaws within it.
I think it was perfect.
And I can. But yeah.
And I mean, do you think season 1 was perfect?
No. Well, actually, no.
It's very close.
It's a really good establishment for the series. It's a really good.
But season 2, to me, it puts the series in.
Well, we're out of the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, like oh, you're serious. Like,
yeah,
this is going to continue
like this. The threats is here, nigga.
Threats are here.
And it didn't take us like 5-6 seasons to get here. Like, the threats are real and they're here, and there are casualties from this. Rengoku is dead. Uzui has retired.
We gave this nigga a movie.
Right.
Killed him in the movie.
As much as the upper moon demons are like slowly thinking in ranks, we've also lost Hashiras during this entire process. And you can't replace them because niggas aren't advancing fast enough because niggas are dying too much. So it's this interesting kind of tale that you're going on, but the intensity is ramped up in the third arc. I truly feel like this is a battle for these niggas' lives. I truly feel like as soon as Inosuke cuts the head off of the girl, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I got her head. She's not gonna get her head on," and then gets stabbed through the fucking lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
bro, I thought that was it, man.
Like, yeah,
I thought he was
blood
done.
came out his mask, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is it. But this is also like the third time we think Inosuke is dead. Like,
yeah,
he gets brutally fucked up.
He can shiver around his organs, and poison doesn't affect him.
Wearing a dead boar's mask on top of your head for so long, I'll be immune to a lot of shit too.
Well, listen, as we talking about Inosuke, Zenitsu gets some moments too. That thunderclap is OP in a way.
Hey, and in reality, he may be the strongest out of both of them. I mean, so? I kind of do, bro. It's just his power is so, it's unstable. Like he doesn't have real control. I mean,
he has one move.
Yeah,
and
that's really the issue.
Mastered that move. He has mastered that move, and so nigga said, thunderclap, God body, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, it's some hard body shit for real.
And it was just like he was going through damn near almost ended up in space trying to cut this bitch's head off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's OP, bro. Like I know he's gonna have some more moments too in this series, but he's special. He can't.
It's always
know what the fuck he's doing.
I love how much it's a struggle and how much it's a battle for their lives just to cut their heads off. Like, it don't make it easy. It isn't like, oh, I found the trick. Like, we got to punch him in the chest. And then. It's like, no, we sacrificed two different other niggas so he could get close so he could chisel her fucking neck off.
I kind of go back to Dragon Ball Z and, like, what it takes to actually, like, kill the enemy. I remember Cell, Cell came back because he, like, had some cells left in space and, like, they just came back together and he had Piccolo's genes, so he came back. It's like, damn, man. What exactly do we do to actually destroy? And Demon Slayer keeps it pretty simple. Although they complicated it a little bit this time with, obviously, you gotta cut both heads off.
Next season gonna be really complicated.
I know. But still, like, I like the whole, hey, cut the neck off, move on.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's simple. Add stuff to it to make it work and make it, like, a little bit more mysterious, but yeah, it makes sense.
An underrated part of anime battles, in my opinion, and we saw this with the Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super, is the atmosphere change. And in the third act, when essentially the entire city is burning down, and they're fighting for their lives. This man has already lost an arm, but Tengo Uzui is like, he's running and he's got the neck in this thing, and then Tanjiro jumps in the air and he's like next to him too, and he's like, "Yo, I'm about to hop in, nigga. Hold up, let me get my.
This is it.
Let me get my fucking what's it called? Motherfucking fuck, I have it in my notes. My Hinoki Kagura. Let me get that shit ready too, because we about to cut it off, and they about to cut that off over there. And like that moment where everyone's screaming and they're like, and I'm just like, yo,
this is crazy, nigga. What's gonna
happen? I mean, the man turns his battle into fucking notes of music, and he starts following his moves by like the beats of the pattern.
It was literally like,
I'm like, okay, yeah, sound hashery. About time that shit kicked in.
Yeah, we're waiting to see it. I mean,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They manage. I mean, first of all, before we get into that as well, there's so many things that happen during this. Tanjiro, when everyone else is like taking out for the count, it's just Tanjiro and Gyutaro. And Gyutaro is about to like murk this nigga, and Tanjiro's like, he got his two fucking broken ass fingers. He got his broken ass fingers on one hand, and he's tied his other hand to the sword so he doesn't let go of it because that hand is fucked up too.
What a resilient series this.
So he decides, I'm going to get up and run. Fuck out of here. And I thought that was the realest moment ever. And the nigga just picks up Nezuko and just starts running. It's like, this nigga really is run. You rarely see a protagonist run from a fight unless it's like pathetically.
Yeah, but he's reading the room, bro.
Yeah.
He's reading the room.
He's like, oh damn, and he sprayed those little chunks so I wouldn't smell the fact that he stuck this mysterious shit in my leg and now I can't move. The final battle truly feels like a final battle.
Feels
and
like a movie.
Everyone is involved. The action sequences look incredible. Everything looks incredible. It feels like a fucking movie.
No fucking flaws, bro.
And they cut this nigga's head off. And they cut her head off. And then it's like, run. Tanjiro's like choking on his blood or some shit like that. Some of the rather. And they're like, you need to run. This nigga's about to explode. And I was like, what?
No cap, bro.
Whole fucking city explodes. And I'm like, goddamn. I mean, Nezuko saved him with her demon blood art. But I'm like, damn. And then, we get the backstory. They love to cook it with us.
Gotta get your cries in. You got zombies. You gotta watch the demons cry, man. If they don't cry after death, what were they really?
Tanjiro is like, yo, y'all dead. Don't be fighting until death. What's wrong with y'all? And as him and Nezuko,
does he put his fingers over her lips? Shh, don't. Just relax. Enjoy the time.
Enjoy the final moments you guys have together as brother and sister, as he's watching with his sister. You know what I'm saying?
Good old
and I thought, listen, it was beautiful.
They will always reconnect the human side.
Come on now. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that happens afterwards. That other Hashira, the snake one, shows up wild late. I was like, nigga, he could have been dead. What is wrong with y'all?
Where were you, man?
Nezuko uses her blood demon art to heal everybody of their poisons.
Bro. Once again, here's something else she's amazing at.
Tengo Uzui retires. He's like, yo, we need you for the next mission. And it's like, nigga, I am not. You see me? I got one hand, got one eye.
I feel him, bro.
And 3 wives. The fuck am I supposed to do, nigga?
What I look like? Yeah, I'm good. It's crazy, man. Honestly, I really like. I said it a little while ago, but it really is a resilient series. Meaning, like they give you everything that you can handle, and some things that you can't. But they always make it work. And it's just such a beautiful story. And I feel like we've only cracked the surface of the Demon Slayer world, which is kind of crazy to think about because they've already had an amazing run. We already know those special episodes in season 1, but I just feel like season 2 has, it has the body to really like push the series forward. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, this is the second season. Of course, like, there's no sophomore slump with this series at all. And obviously the movie was great too. So what a hell of a run that they're still on technically. I know the manga is still selling really, really well. It's just an incredible series. I think, you have to watch it. You just have to watch it. It's crazy.
That just recapping this has been like,
it's almost therapeutic, wow. My nigga.
This was great. It was great. I low-key need a cigarette after this, and I don't smoke it all. Because this was great. I'm trying to find things to critique about this series. You know what I'm saying?
I thought about it watching the dub over because I love what you're saying, bro, because the first time I watched it, I was just on a high. So it's different. I couldn't really I wouldn't have texted you and been like, oh, that episode was whatever, or I didn't like that, but I didn't really have anything to say anyways.
I feel like this captured everything what was in the last act of the last Demon Slayer movie.
They never stopped.
Yeah. And that was what I needed from the Demon. Because, to be honest with you, I like the Demon Slayer movie, but I don't like it as much as everybody else fucking likes it, apparently. Because I thought it was literally just a show. I don't think any of the backstory and all the other stuff and stuff that they did with the characters was as cool as they did this season. But they probably could have made this into a movie, but I wouldn't have recommended it. But this being part of the show, man, I'm interested in where they go from here. I want to know what's next. I mean, there's obviously more show, but to be honest with you,
we'll probably get another film. So,
here's the thing though. Do you think the end should be the next film?
Do you think they should end the series on a film?
Yeah. Like there's a build
Like
up to
from
me.
like from a chapter perspective, you mean, like from the manga?
Yes,
Oh,
from the
nigga,
manga. So I'm
yeah.
reading. So I'm speaking of course, um, if this is spoiler territory for you, spoilers it is. I'm not gonna say anything too descriptive. But I think based on the last arc, to me, you can adapt it into an anime, but it would be way too long. It would be like 2 cours or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah,
It would
yeah.
end up becoming like the Attack on Titan final season, which
Right,
niggas
right.
have complained about. That's been going on for 3 years. I was like, relax, like it's the end.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
I don't
mad
give a fuck.
about it.
I'm,
Yeah, you
I'm not
shouldn't be.
mad at all.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you shouldn't
but
be. Yeah.
it is what it is. But I think that would adapt into a great movie.
They may knock their own record off with that, honestly. And I really mean it. I'm because the way the series ends, and we at that point we'd have gotten every other season leading up to
The
it.
final battle is the final.
Oh
But
my
listen, the
god.
final battle is very much so the final battle.
Yeah,
It
literally.
it takes everything they got
To do
takes
what they have to do.
everything
Yeah.
to absolutely do what they have to do.
A movie would be excellent for that format. And they can do it. I think they're on schedule.
I haven't read any of the future arcs in a while. I think I reread it earlier this year or like late last year or something along those lines.
Yeah,
I might read it again, to be
been a while
honest.
for me.
Wish they were doing it at Kame House. Shit, but
Yeah.
we'll do it. Listen, Chainsaw Man, Dr. Stone, ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Shout out Dr.
Is there
Stone.
any other? Shout out to Dr. Stone. Is there anything that we should talk about as we're on this island?
Well, we can't talk about super leaks. I wouldn't do that. But no, yeah, man, I don't know. What else we got going on in the world right now?
I mean,
Spy Family is amazing.
Spy Family is incredible.
Spy
Family. That last episode of Spy Family was the best, man.
It was very, very good. I'm Kaguya Love Is War I'm having a great time watching this season. Komi's so good this season.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah, man. Hey, there's
listen,
a lot of good stuff out right now.
What the fuck we got next? How about that? Maybe that's what we should talk about. What do we have next? I honestly don't even know. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu. I'm gonna rewatch
season 1,
even though like I'm really familiar. I'm gonna rewatch because Yu Yu is.
I need to rewatch because I only seen it once.
That's true. That one time, like 2-3 years ago,
during the pandemic. Come on, man.
Yeah. During the pandemic.
During the pandemic, we still in a pandemic, but
technically,
it was pandemicing a lot, way more. So Yu Yu Hakusho is up next. I look forward to covering it. It's kind of a throwback series. It's something that we've gravitated around and we've orbited around for quite some time. It is about 30 years of Yu Yu Hakusho, especially since the show, I think, originally started airing in Japan.
Would you accept a remake?
Of Yu Yu Hakusho?
I say remake, but I guess I should just say like a redesign.
You talking about like Hunter x Hunter?
Kind of, yeah. Not that anything would change, just like a reintroduction for, people who
why not?
aren't our age.
I'm sure niggas wouldn't watch it. I feel like here's the thing. I feel like it wouldn't happen, but I feel like
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Nah,
it won't. I just,
it don't have a strong enough IP. Like Dragon Ball can do that shit. Dragon Ball might do another Kai in like 20 years, to be honest with you.
I could see that easily. But yeah, I totally agree with you, bro. I don't think they're gonna just like put money behind redoing Yu Yu. It's already a masterpiece in its own, so what are you gonna do?
I would just, you know what? Let's save that for next episode.
Let's do it, yeah. We gotta talk about it anyways.
Let's table that for next episode. So in the next episode of Summer in Kame House, we got Yu Yu Hakusho season 1. So make sure you guys tune in and watch it with us and stuff like that. I might throw some things up on the timeline in case I'm watching and stuff like that. But if you guys have not seen Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc and you've listened through this entire episode, bravo to you. Man. But also,
you gotta go watch.
Go watch that shit.
It'll take you 4 hours, y'all.
This shit is amazing. It is incredible. It is bombastic. It is intense. It is everything. I'm literally trying to find some shit to complain about. I'm trying to find a reason to be a hater a little bit, but I can't because it's so. It was delivered. So I'm like, oh my God, it came to my doorstep and it's like, oh my God, look at the packaging.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Look at the quality.
Yeah,
look at the material.
Like no off episodes. Every episode look like it cost $30 million each. You know, like everything is just like, it's so good. So I know that there's people out there that like really respect Demon Slayer, and I think I'm one of those people that like, I'm not gonna sit here and like, I don't fan over it, I guess, per se, at least not like I did the first season, because I don't know, it just became like, I think we just all enjoy it as a family now. So I don't never trying to one up anybody like, oh yeah, Demon Slayer is my shit, you know, but it is so good that I think it's universally loved. I don't know a lot of people or anybody off the top of my head that just like does not fuck with it.
I know someone who doesn't fuck with it, but
yeah, I really.
But I think you can't. You can't after watching. Yeah, you can't after watching this arc. You can't tell me that this arc wasn't gas, man.
Even if it's not your type of shit, like, come on.
Yeah, you can't tell me this shit wasn't gas. Nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in to the Lookout. Of course, summer at Kame House.
Still on
we'll
the
be back
island.
in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Yu Yu Hakusho. But until then, you can follow us at the Lookout RNC on Twitter. You can follow myself at Meelz TV. You can follow Jeff at Old Newsboy. We got, of course, continued content throughout the summer, so you will get the Summer at Kame House with the Big Eyes podcast and the mangas they go over. You will get, Subside, Dubside with Versace Vegeta and D. Shout out to them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Doing an amazing job on that stuff. And revisiting all the Dragon Ball movies as we're leading up to the release of Dragon Ball Super Hero. I'm not gonna call it superhero. I'm sorry, it's redundant.
We can't do it. It's not gonna happen. Shout out Gohan, man. Shout out Gohan one time.
Gohan getting his own film, man.
Shout out Gohan, bruh. Amazing.
They thought it was over.
It's been a long time running, baby. I saw my nigga fighting with glasses on, bro. This nigga's different, bro. He's different. Glasses not falling off.
I've seen a lot of things, but I won't say a word.
I've seen a lot of things.
The JoJo agenda.
Yeah.
It'll be here when it'll come, we'll let you know. But it'll definitely be
it
here.
It will be coming.
And yeah, continue to stay. We're about to, continue training. Continue stuff. I think Capsule Corp's supposed to drop some off, at the end of the day. So we're gonna look out for that. But until then, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. This has been The Lookout, and we'll see you guys next time.